And we begin with breaking news at this 6 a.m. hour. Crews working quickly to put out a fire at Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport early this morning.
News 8's Chris Groh joining us live at the scene now to bring us the very latest what's happening at the airport right now. Chris, I would imagine a fire at the airport might affect flights. What are you hearing out there?
Yeah, they're not going to have any planes that will be flying out here anytime soon as long as these fire rescue crews are still on scene. In fact, you'll see they're on the taxiway still. You can see the faint outline of one of the SUVs, but fire crews are going to be going hangar to make sure that everything is A-OK right now. Let's go back, though. We'll show you some video that was taken. What has happened. At 3:45 a.m. call came in for this fire. When crews finally got here on scene, they noticed heavy smoke billowing out of at least one of the hangars. There are 4 that might have been involved, but only 2 of them suffered any type of smoke and or fire damage. But they really worked hard to get this fire put out, especially because they have these large fuel tankers just adjacent to the hangars that contain jet fuel that are extremely flammable. They could have made this a lot worse. In fact, that is what elevated this to that second alarm fire, because of the presence of that jet fuel. Now, what we're told is that no planes were damaged in this, that there was one vehicle. This could have been something, they're oftentimes those carts that go around the taxiway that some of the staff use here. But staff has returned. Fire crews are still present. We heard from the fire information officer a short time ago. Here's what he said about sort of the mop-up effort now that the flames have been put out.
Around 4:38, crews got knocked out of the fire. Right now is in the phase what we call salvage and overhaul, and so they're going to be going through the structure, looking into the walls, pulling off if there's anything covering product or whatever. The crews are going to go in and remove that and search for any hidden fire, make sure that it's completely out. But right now the fire is under control.
Yeah, guys, we're also in sort of the parking lot, so we're trying to give you the best image here right now, but you can see one of the fire engines and some firefighters. They're still on the taxiway. So again, until fire rescue is gone, the FAA gives the all clear, there will be no flights that will be coming out of this airport now. But I imagine there are some folks who utilize Montgomery Gibbs Airport who are wondering if they're going to be able to get their flights in, especially on a day it's looking like it's clearing up pretty early right now. They may not know that the fire took place because it was also put out so quickly. And again, very good work here by San Diego Fire Rescue. Also should point out, this is the location where San Diego Police Department, their chopper is located. San Diego Fire Rescue's chopper is located that they fly out from. So this is a pretty important airport, not only for recreational flyers as well. Back to you guys.
Yeah, all great points, Chris. Yeah. And we know a lot of people coming and going with the World Cup right now.
Yeah, it's a busy airport, so of course that's going to impact some people.
We do want to check with meteorologist Evan Ronnie, a check on that forecast. We're expecting a hot day here today, aren't we?
How hot? It's interesting. It's getting hotter. Today will be our hottest day of the week, but we also have a lot of cloud cover, even a few showers rolling in.
Okay.
So 2 different tales to tell, one being the morning and the other being the afternoon. Morning stretch here, 50s and 60s for the most part, cloudy skies, even a little bit of drizzle out there. You can see the green popping up. But by the time we get to the afternoon, we are expected to see all of this clear, and we will be back to those blue skies. A little bit of a closer look shows more of that green up toward North County. Right now, we haven't seen any actual monitoring sites recording rain, which means that this could be coming down as virga. It's dropping from the clouds. It's evaporating before it reaches the ground. High temperatures are in the 70s and 80s today, though. We'll be revisiting this periodically throughout the show, just to talk a little bit more about how hot it's going to be getting out there. But for now, I want to send things over to Vanessa Paz, checking in on traffic here at 6:04.
All right, let's go ahead and give you a live look outside. This is the 5 in both directions right at Genesee. Gorgeous view of the sun. Actually, I was going to say the sunrise, but we're way past that. This is a view of the freeway on the 5 in both directions at Genesee Avenue. Right now we're looking at pretty nice speeds across the board. It's looking like Friday night. Remember, it's the same song and dance that we see pretty much every Friday, because I have that theory that people opt to work from home, especially in the morning hours. The evening, though, still slow and congested coming home on Friday, but the morning's always in pretty good shape. What's not in good shape is the 5 right now just in South Carlsbad due to a crash that's blocking the 2 right lanes on the 5 South before Lacoste Avenue, slowing things all the way to Poinsettia. And then we have another crash, this one on the 67, right at the 52 And coming up a little later, we'll take a look at what your travel times have in store for this Friday. Back to you guys.
Right now, a massive swell is bringing some of the biggest surf Southern California has seen this year.
Also, as Evan mentioned, it's going to be a hot day, the hottest day of the week. So we want to let you know about the dangers as people look to the beach to try to cool off today. News 8's Tori Apodaca live at the beautiful Windansea Beach, but there is a warning there from those lifeguards. Tori, what are they saying?
That's exactly right. It definitely does look beautiful out there as surfers are already on the water, but lifeguards, they have been busy throughout this week with a whole lot of search and rescues. Up in Orange County at Laguna Beach, a little 5-year-old girl actually got swept into the sea earlier this week, and her body was found just yesterday morning. A beach hazard statement was in effect, but it expired on Thursday evening. But still, a southwest swell was just bringing sets as high as 10 feet and a strong rip current to especially south-facing beaches like Windansea, and officials just warning about the potential dangers throughout today as well. This week, one of our crews watched lifeguards rush into the water to save a group of people who got dragged out pretty far. They even had to bring in jet skis to get some of the swimmers to shore. We've also heard of rescues in Oceanside after one person got knocked off the North Jetty by a large wave and the other jumped in to help. And then back to that little girl in Laguna. She was on a walk with her family near the shore at Treasure Island Beach when a large wave swept them out to sea. Officials say that bystanders were able to rescue the 5-year-old's mother and her brother, but tragically her body was found days later near Christmas Cove. Lifeguards are really just warning people about how quickly conditions can change.
Surf is big is when we really have to put the pedal to the metal, and that's when we put ourselves in the most danger, getting the public out of danger. It's always good to use the buddy system if going surfing or swimming, and yeah, always swim in front of a lifeguard if possible.
Yeah, so some good reminders there. The wave heights are expected to start to decline throughout today, but still be safe if you are going to be hitting the beach this weekend. Reporting live from Windansea Beach, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
Tori, thank you so much for that important information, keeping people safe. A big announcement from Governor Gavin Newsom. He's now sending $46 million in new funding to help tackle the Tijuana River sewage crisis. For years, this has impacted South Bay communities. The money will go to projects to remove trash, pollution, and harmful bacteria from waterways connected to the Tijuana River. While the state is putting up more money, Newsom says Washington still needs to step up with funding to repair the South Bay wastewater treatment plant. It is a key line of defense against sewage flowing towards San Diego beaches, mainly in IB. The World Cup excitement, it is continuing today. Wow, day one, if that continues through July 19th, I can't imagine. Team USA is getting ready to face off against Paraguay. This will be in Los Angeles.
Yeah, our Jake Ariani traveled to Irvine, where the Team USA has been practicing ahead of today's big match.
There will be familiarity for the United States. Incredibly enough, this U.S. men's national team has faced off against all 3 of its upcoming opponents in group play within nearly a year. Turkey back in June of 2025, Australia in October, and Paraguay in November. And if you remember that November match against Paraguay, it ended with flair and fireworks in stoppage time, a huge scuffle, something that will clearly be on the minds of the players headed into Friday's match.
We're going to the game with a lot of respect for Paraguay, and we know that they're going to be super, super aggressive, so we're going to have to match that. I mean, we saw that the last time we played them, and we're just going to have to stay focused for the whole game. Yeah.
A really intense team, a team that fights, a team that's very direct, and things might change. They might play a little differently, and I think that's the beauty of playing a team twice. It becomes a little bit more of a difficult match.
Yeah, it'll definitely be scrappy. I think Paraguay is a team who likes to bring intensity. I thought it was a perfect game last November that we kind of played. Of course, you know, we had our chances, we limited them, so I think we're kind of focused on that. We'll kind of touch up on things from that game that we need to work on, and we're pretty well prepared.
Yeah, we bring the same mentality, the same hunger, the same fight, and at the end of the day, you know, this game, you know, you have to win. So for us, you know, it'd be a good statement to win the first game of the group, but also, you know, for the whole World Cup, it'd be good to start off with a win.
Being the host nation, there is a bit more extra pressure, but we'll take that in stride and hopefully, you know, do what we're capable of doing.
This game sets the tone for the tournament.
Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium this Friday for that World Cup opening match. In Irvine, California, with the United States men's national team, I'm Jake Garriani.
All right, they're pumped. We're pumped. There are several places where you can get pumped up and watch the World Cup matches across San Diego today. San Diego FC partnering with the Chula Vista Elite Athlete Training Center for a watch party. Yeah, they got plenty of space there. That's on Olympic Parkway. Piazza della Famiglia on West Date Street in Little Italy will host watch parties for both games today with live music in between. And in Oceanside, Front Wave Arena over on Hero Drive will host parties for all 3 Team USA group stage games. All 3 of these parties are free to attend. You can find all of our World Cup coverage on the CBS 8 app, download on your TV or phone, and watch for free. Lots of places to go out and hang out and watch your Team USA on.
The schedule, I'm curious how people are planning their lives for the next several weeks.
That's true, right?
I mean, we
yeah, well,
2 matches today.
Some people have that choice, apparently.
Yeah,
I mean, well, that's the perk. You know, I think post-COVID, a lot of people have been a little more flexible with when they're able to work.
We saw them at Petco Park.
These times, right? Like, yeah, you can block out meetings.
We had what, 3 different reporters out there yesterday, and all 3 locations they were at were wild at noon on a Thursday. 6:11 right now on our Friday. Happy end of the week. Take a look outside. You can see how we have an abundance of mid-level clouds that are building out there, symptomatic of some mist, some drizzle that's possible this morning, a little bit more moisture in the atmosphere, but temperatures still expected to warm up pretty rapidly into the afternoon stretch. We're looking at highs in the upper 70s out by the coast, 80s as we move inland, 88 in Ramona today, 83 up in Fallbrook, 88 in El Cajon. Along the coast, we're mostly in the 70s. But we have had some beautiful photos sent in. Thank you to Julie for sending this one in from Oceanside. Goes to show that we still have those passing mid-level clouds and low clouds, kind of a combination of the two. We'll likely rest in the afternoon with sunshine across the board, maybe a few passing clouds, but generally speaking, that marine layer, that May, gray, now June gloom has been something to talk about each and every day this month. We have seen a little bit less of it, less intensity to it perhaps, but it's still something to talk about. When we look through the next several days, we're expecting temperatures to slide. We will leave the upper 70s behind at the coast, start to simmer down to the mid 70s. El Cajon will leave the upper 80s and maybe some low 90s behind and make it down to the mid 80s through the weekend. So today is our peak, and then those temperatures start to drop. Across the mountains and deserts, though, I'd say we're going to stay pretty similar to how we have been for the last 24 and 48 hours. We're going to stay pretty warm through the weekend, and there are some models that show our mountains and deserts even warming up into next week. Vanessa Paz checking in on traffic. She is letting us know how the roads are on our Friday.
The roads are looking mighty fine this morning. I'll tell you, at 6:13, I'm not tracking any major crashes nor delays. 5 in both directions. This is coming in from Chula Vista as you make your way northbound towards the Mile of Cars into National City. Here's the drive as folks spill out of the Villa Rancho area headed southbound. In fact, the top left of your screen, or the middle, I should say, is that southbound drive as they exit the Escondido area headed towards Rancho Bernardo and Rancho Penasquitos. We had a crash earlier on the 5 in South Carlsbad. It has since cleared, but unfortunately the slowing has not. There's still some brake tapping lingering there. Closer to the East County, we're tracking a couple of crashes. Both are on the 67. So we have one involving 3 cars on the 67 North at River Ford Road. This is just in the Lakeside area. As you make your way either to or from the Santee 67 and 52 split, you may encounter some slowing due to that crash. And then we have another crash involving 2 cars. One of them reportedly rolled over, and this is where the 67 and the 52 meet. So if you take the 67 anywhere out of Lakeside or even Santee where the 67 meets the 52, you may encounter a little bit of congestion there because of that activity. All right, let's go ahead and pull up some of those travel times for you. About 10 to 15 right now, headed northbound in from the South Bay, coming out of Chula Vista National City. Here's what it looks like coming in from the East County headed west.